Welcome back to Bay Sunday. Please welcome our next guest, Ahsa Tinu, a vocalist and African drummer from the East Bay. Ahsa, congratulations on the release of your new album.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Reborn.
Reborn is a project it's my first solo project. I've been working with several bands as a background vocalist and also choirs, and it took a while for me to finally make the decision to do it, but I finally made the decision to release my first solo project, all original compositions, and it was a long journey, but I'm here now. So.
Yeah, and some people have called you the female Marvin Gaye. Was he one of your influences?
Certainly, yes. Marvin Gaye was a huge influence in my life, as well as Stevie Wonder and Etta James and Betty Carter. A lot of jazz and blues and gospel came into play throughout my life and my childhood.
And part of that was singing in the church.
Correct. My father's a preacher, so I'm a preacher's kid. So singing in the church kind of wasn't an option. Well, I didn't have much of an option to not do it. So certainly singing in the church was a big part of my influence in terms of music and my inspiration for music. And
you were part of a group before. What happened that kind of transitioned you into going into a solo career?
You know, honestly, I just reached a point where I realized that I have a message that I want to get out into the world, and in order for me to effectively do that and to get my music out, that the only way I could do that is for me to really focus on getting my music out and to get my voice out and to be heard. It's a completely different setting when you're singing with a group as opposed to being a solo artist, because at least with a group you kind of have other people to fall upon. But being a solo artist, if a lot of it falls on you, and it's a lot of pressure, and part of the reason why I was really hesitant to do it, but then I, just really decided to step out on faith and make that choice and make it happen. You grew up in Ohio. You eventually made it out here to the Bay. You talked about the message that you wanted to get out. What is that message? Really, it's love and positive light, and just loving one another, trying to do better around understanding one another. We don't all have to get along all the time, but at least some of the time we should at least work towards trying to be better towards one another and understanding one another, and really exercising a universal love is what I like to call it. We have a clip from your album. Let's take a listen.
And like a king he was born to rise. Could tell you Socrates and Hemingway, or even while the sun rises in the day. He's my everything. He's my one and only. He's my heart.
Well, I knew this when I first started talking to you, but you've got a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you very much.
So we see this clip. Tell us a little bit about how you guys made this and what kind of inspired you.
So this song in particular was really inspired. It came about because I didn't feel like there was enough music celebrating black males. And I really wanted to show some love to my brothers of all ages, and really just let them know how much it is they're loved and how much it is they're appreciated, especially in a world that doesn't celebrate them as often as I feel like we should. And so that was really the inspiration. And then in the video was my son. And so he was a huge part of that inspiration, and just letting him know how important he is to not only myself, but to his community and the world around him. And I just, part of the signs, and the gentleman holding up the signs is just to really exercise a different view around how we see black men, because oftentimes we don't see them as loving, as sensitive, as kind, as giving, as beautiful beings that they are.
It sounds like a great album. Thank you for joining us here this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And for more information about Ahsa Tinu's album, Reborn, it's called Reborn, log on to ahsatinu.com. Once again, that's ahsatinu.com. We'll be back with more Bay Sunday after this break.
Just to know that he